Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to Drawing Down the Stars. I'm Snappy, and thank you for joining me for our live tarot session today, November 29th, 2024. It's a beautiful day and a wonderful evening. Let's give a shout out to everyone here in our chat. So great to see you, Lisa. Much love, Beatnik. Gandhi, much love. Christy, good to see you. Nikosmas, good to see you. Marissa, much love. Da Phoenix, much love. Good to see you, Kari. Mother Rhea, all the love in the world. Holler Hank, good to see you. D-Love, much love. And yeah, great. Thank you guys for joining me. This is a wonderful turnout. Good to see you all. All right, let's start by talking a bit about our astrology. So we're still in this energy of Scorpio in our moon. And with this energy, we're going to be feeling it, ultra sensitive and open. But at the same time, we have this ability to dive into the depths of ourselves and to really know ourselves and to express ourselves, to connect with people in a truly intimate and loving way, as well as with this energy of the Sagittarius sun, which is that energy of impulsion, of change, of moving and pursuing of that desire. So combining these energies, you have this potential to really follow your heart and to connect in a beautiful way, as long as you're not too sensitive or too reckless, you know. So it's an interesting time. Balance these energies out and enjoy yourself. Connect to your loved ones and embrace that emotional depth. It's beautiful. All right. We're now going to go to our Ganapati Oracle. Well, before I do that, actually, let's talk a bit about our title here. Face the insurmountable and transform. When I was meditating this morning, I drew the Hangman card. And the Hangman is intense, profound, and challenging energy, beautiful energy. But it is that energy of having to face the insurmountable, of going through the process and coming out transformed by it. Active change, right? Not only does one go and climb up onto the tree, but then one has to climb down and do something different with that knowledge that has been gained from that new perspective. And what the Hangman represents is the challenge of obtaining that new perspective. In order to gain that perspective, you have to give something up. You have to go through an obstacle. You have to face yourself, you know, but through challenge comes new learning, comes new methodology, comes new understanding and growth. So it's about facing these things that seem impossible and trying, imagining, doing, embracing, engaging. I always think of that beautiful image of Odysseus. Odysseus, when he sees the siren, or he learns of the sirens, he has his men take wax and put it into their ears, but he himself climbs upon the mast and he straps himself to the mast so that he can gaze upon the sirens and hear their song and be prevented from succumbing to them. This facing your fears and gazing into the abyss, seeing what is there, being transformed by it, finding a way to pursue that knowledge, right? And then he climbs down and now he has gained perception. Or we think of that image of Odin, who climbs upon the tree and sacrifices an aspect of himself in order to understand, to gain wisdom, right? This is a profound image. And that's what it's about. Active change, imagination, going through the process, right? Being willing to face what's ahead of you and being willing to do something different, to transform yourself in order to adapt and face the challenge. Okay. And I wanted to read for you guys a beautiful poem. Let me just pull it up here. It's by Madison Julius Kawine. It's called Hymn to Spiritual Desire. Mother of visions, with lineaments dulcet as numbers, breathed on the eyelids of love by music that slumbers, secretly, sweetly, O presence of fire and snow, thou comest mysterious, in beauty imperious, clad on with dreams and the light of no world that we know. Deep to my innermost soul am I shaken, helplessly shaken and tossed, and of thy tyrannous yearning so utterly taken, my lips unsatisfied thirst. Mine eyes are accursed, with longing for visions that far in the night are forsaken, and mine ears in listening lost, yearn waiting the note of a chord that will never awaken. Like palpable music thou comest, like moonlight and far, resonant bar upon bar, the vibrating lyre of the spirit responds with melodious fire, as thy fluttering fingers now grasp it and ardently shake, with laughter and with ache, the chords of existence, the instrument star sprung, whose frame is of clay so wonderfully molded of mire, vested with vanquishment. Come, O desire, desire. Breathe in this harp of my soul the audible angel of love. Make of my heart an Israfel, burning above, a lute for the music of God, that lips which are mortal but stammer. Smite every rapturous wire with golden delirium, rebellion, and silvery clamor, crying, awake, awake. Too long hast thou slumbered, too far from the regions of glamour, with its mountains of magic, its fountains of fairy, the spar sprung, hast thou wandered away, O heart. Come, come, oh come and partake of necromance, banquets of beauty and slake, thy thirst in the waters of art that are drawn from the streams of love and of dreams. Come, oh come. No longer shall language be dumb, the vision shall grasp, as one doth the glittering hasp of a sword made splendid with gems and with gold, the wonder and richness of life, not anguish and hate of it merely, and out of the stark, eternity awful and dark, immensity silent and cold, universe shaking as trumpets or cymbaling metals, imperious yet pensive and pearly, and soft as the rosy unfolding of petals or crumbling aroma of blossoms that wither too early. The majestic music of God, where he plays on the organ, eternal and vast, of eons and days. Beautiful, beautiful. Connecting to that beautiful image of transcendence and embracing it, following through, being in that power of desire, of generation, of embracing life and joy, and using it to transform the self. You know, when you embrace these emotions and these connections, when you believe in these things, you transform yourself and the world around you. Beautiful. All right. We're now going to go to our Ganapati oracle. Ganesha Ganapati is the divine child, the Lord of beginnings, the guardian of the threshold, and the master of the Ganas, the spirits. And we ask them to send us an inspiring message and ensure that our words are heard by those who need to hear them. So, Ganapati, what is the inspiring message? Priorities. Priorities. Organize yourself, figure things out. Figure out what your priorities are. Putting things into a proper order so that in order to face and to overcome them, right? If you wish to build that tower, then you have to have a solid plan of action, and you have to have a way in which to do it. And you have to prioritize things, recognize certain things in your life. And when you put things into priority, it also puts things into focus. What are you working for and towards? Who are you responsible for? Who do you love? Think about these things, right? What matters most, and how do you ensure that they are nurtured, right? Beautiful. Love it. Okay, we're now going to go to our sortes. And today we're going to begin with Women Who Run with Wolves. And the sortes is a form of bibliomancy, that is divination through literature. And it comes to us from the Greco-Roman tradition, and we invoke the goddesses of inspiration, the divine muses, and we ask them to send us a message through the text. So, muses, guide my hand. What is the inspiring message from Clarissa Pinkola Estes? All right. Inside was an old woman sitting before a beautiful roaring fire. And now she hurried to his side, gathered him into her arms, and carried him to the fire. She held him in her arms as a mother holds her child. She sat and rocked him in her rocking chair. There they were, the poor, frail old man, just a sack of bones, and the strong old woman rocking him back and forth, saying, there, 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 there. There. Wow. That comforting mother, right? Taking care of one another and being there through the old agedness and helping one progress through that cycle of death, which we all must face. Beautiful energy. And this, I feel like we're seeing, is how that energy passes as we grow old and how we connect, right? Beautiful. That mother energy, that loving energy transitions and it takes care of us in other ways, but she's always present, right? Beautiful. Let's continue. All right. We're now going to go to 10 Plays by Euripides. Muses, what is the message from Euripides? Inspire us. I shall have worse sorrows, forced to lie in the bed of the Greeks. My curse on the night when that is my fate. I shall have worse sorrows, forced to lie in the bed of Greeks. My curse on the night when that is my fate. You know, oh, interesting. I shall have worse sorrows, forced to lie in the bed of the Greeks. It's an interesting idea. Sorrow is something that we must all face, and there's always greater sorrow still. Life is this incredible, profound force that produces complexity and intensity, right? And we are forced to lie in the bed of the Greeks. So much of our culture is descended from that Greek root. Whether they're the original or not is besides the point, right? So much of those images have been, seen and felt through that Grecian lens. And so we are lying in that bed and have to engage. At least I choose to engage personally. It's an interesting engagement, putting it mildly. Let us continue. Okay. We're now going to go to The Telltale Heart, Edgar Allan Poe. Muses, what is the message from Poe? Inspire us. And life departed from our paths, for the tall flamingo flaunted no longer his scarlet plumage before us, but flew sadly from the vale into the hills with all the gay, glowing birds that had arrived in his company. Wow. And life departed, that Zoe, from our path, for the tall flamingo, that majestic bird, right? Beautiful pink, flaunted no longer his scarlet plumage before us, but flew sadly from the vale into the hills with all the gay, glowing birds that had arrived in his company. Wow. That divine energy leaving, that life departing from the path in the form of the majestic bird. Wow. Interesting. All right. We're now going to go to Byron, selected poetry and letters. Muse. What is the message from Byron? Inspire us. I could replace them if I would, still teems my mind with many a form which aptly seems such as I sought for and at moments found. Let loose these two go, for waking reason deems such overweening fantasies unsound, and other voices speak, and other sights surround. Whoa, this is interesting. I could replace them if I would. Still teems my mind with many a form which aptly seems such as I sought for, and at moments found. I could replace them if I would. We go through the experience of life that we are meant to face. We draw that energy to us that we are meant to overcome, right? Beautiful. Let these two go, for waking reason deems such overweening fantasies unsound. Let these two go, right? Even these little forms of the mind, let them go. And other voices speak, and other sights surround. Wow. Learn to listen and experience rather than to be stuck in your own voice. Beautiful. Interesting. Okay. We are now going to go to 3 Tragedies, Lorca. Muses, what is the message from Lorca? Inspire us. I ran away because I want to marry. I want to get married to a beautiful, manly man from the shore of the sea, because here the men run from women. I ran away because I want to marry. I want to get married to a beautiful, manly man from shore of the sea, because here the men run from women. A beautiful, manly man. Isn't that interesting? How beautiful. Love it. I ran away because I was in pursuit of that desire, right? I wanted to have someone who could match me. I wanted to have someone who fit the bill, you know? And that's powerful. It forces action, it forces change. And it's amazing. Pursue your desires. Okay, let's continue. Paradise lost, paradise regained. Muses, what is the message from Milton? Inspire us. The waters underneath from those above dividing. For as earth, so he the world built on circumfluous waters calm in wide crystalline ocean. And the loud misrule of chaos far removed, lest fierce extremes contiguous might distemper the whole frame. And heaven he named the firmament, so evening and morning chorus sung the second day. Oh, interesting. The waters underneath from those above dividing, for as earth, so he the world built on circumfluous waters calm and wide crystalline ocean. And the loud misrule of chaos far removed, lest fierce extremes contiguous distempered the whole frame. Creating of that space, that world, right? The firmament, parting of the waters, calming of the space. Heaven and named the firmament, so evening, morning, chorus, and the second day. Wow, that Christian creation myth, right? Dividing of the earth and of the waters. This constant separation of things in order to create more. But with each divide, you know, there is a chance of greater separation, of greater change still, you know? Interesting. Let's continue. We are now going to go to Albert Camus, The Stranger. Muses, what is the message from Camus? Inspire us. Over his bed, he has a pink and white plaster angel, some pictures of famous athletes, and 2 or 3 photographs of naked women. Over his bed, he has a pink and white plaster angel, some pictures of famous athletes, and 2 or 3 photographs of naked women. It's silly, right? But, take a step back for a second and recognize that this is some kind of magical wish fulfillment, right? We put what we idolize and what we wish to connect to upon the wall. That angelic daimonic force, that higher self has appeared upon the wall. The pursuit of that feminine as an object of desire, yes, which is, less than ideal, but it is there in this form. It's something that they're striving for to connect with, right? And then those famous athletes, heroes, right? Heroes, people that we idolize, right? Powerful stuff. This may be the silliness of youth, but what is life but silliness? And this is just another form of magical performance, right? Switch out your famous athlete for a statue of the muse, and it's no different. No different at all. Okay, let's continue. All right. Magia. Alan Chapman. Muses. What is the message from Chapman? Inspire us. You should instead make of yourselves a caterpillar that, knowing the futility of the web, cocoons itself in silence, stillness, and devotion. Whoa. Clearer messages could not be found. You should instead make yourselves a caterpillar that, knowing the futility of the web, cocoons itself in silence, stillness, and devotion. In those tough times, what do you do when faced? You go through the process. You don't resist. Instead, you become that silence, and you transform yourself through that devotion. Wow. I want to read the last line just because it stands out. And giving itself to itself lies down to die. Whoa. Beautiful. Okay. We're now going to go to Les Grossman, the Magicians. Muses. What is a message from Les Grossman? Inspire us this evening. You admire my beauty, human? She asked Penny. I am cold. Would you warm me with your burning skin? You admire my, oh my gosh. And there you go is the invitation. Often on this channel, I've spoken about how you get the story of that hero who pursues that muse in absolute lust and desire. And then when they're about to achieve that connection, they lash out in desire and they strive to make physical contact to grab a hold of that muse. And by doing so, they lose. They either are killed or the muse disappears. But what we're seeing here is another way that this energy can move forward, right? Sometimes instead what happens is she offers you her hand. If you're willing to wait and face her with respect, then she'll offer you her hand to come and join her. And maybe you'll get to experience what you desired for the entire time. You admire my beauty, human, she asked. Penny, I am cold. Would you warm me with your burning skin? Respect goes a long way. And let's continue. The House of the Dead, Jeremy Reed. Muses. What is the message from Jeremy Reed? I wanted to know the cause of her death, cancer or heart failure or suicide. If it was hard or easy, either way, she'd relinquished her physicality and been sucked, screaming into this black pit. Whoa. Such intensity and suffering. I wanted to know the cause of her death, cancer or heart failure or suicide. If it was hard or easy, either way, she'd relinquished her physicality and been sucked screaming into this black pit. Sucked screaming into the darkness. But what is that darkness really? It is that great moon. It is that seed of creation. It is through going through the veil that we come out the other side. You know, learning to go through that transformation. Again, we see this hangman energy. Interesting. All right. We're now going to go to Marlowe, Dr. Faustus. Muses, what is the message from Marlowe and Dr. Faustus? Inspire us this evening. I charge thee to return and change thy shape. Thou art too ugly to attend on me. Oh, that's so fun. I charge thee to return and change thy shape. Thou art too ugly to attend on me. I challenge you to go and transform thyself, to go through that process of refinement and engagement. You know, ugliness in this sense is something that can be overcome, right? And have we been not talking about this transformation of that refinement, of that rise to the Apollonian, right? Interesting. Let's continue. Lewis Carroll. Alice's Adventures in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass. Muses, what is the message from Lewis Carroll? Inspire us. Alice was very anxious to be of use, and as the poor little Lily was nearly screaming herself into a fit, she hastily picked up the queen and set her on the table by the side of her nosy little daughter. Wow. Alice was very anxious to be of use, and as the poor little Lily was nearly screaming herself into a fit, she hastily picked up the queen and set her on the table beside her nosy little daughter. How interesting, right? Trying to do what's right. You see her getting involved and moving that queen, not realizing that she just instigated incredible, horrible violence to come. Wow. And that's such a truism of life, you know? All right. We're going to leave our sortes at that. And now we're going to be using our tarot. But before I begin my tarot, please give me a like and a subscribe. It really does make a big difference. It boosts everything in the algorithm, and I would truly appreciate it. And if you're at all interested in a private reading, you can reach out to me, snappydts@gmail.com, and you can organize a private reading. All right. We're going to be using today the Tabula Mundi Tarot of M.M. Moline, and we'll be invoking that energy of Saturn and asking them to dissect our life, to expose it upon the plate, to show us the interconnections so we can learn how to rise above the conflicts, how best to evolve, how to manifest our true wills, and what is that greater message for the community. As always, the center card is our most important, and while I was shuffling, I had one shoot out at me. And if what a beautiful energy here. Lady Babylon, that lust card in all of her glory. And she will be today's center image. Love to see it. Love to see it. You know, that lust energy is that energy of disciplined action in another form, right? Where the hangman is going and facing that death to the point of transformation, rising in up the tree and ascending the tree. Lady Babylon is that one that is that through that desire accomplishes all of her goals. She's the one who continues in spite of the constant rejection and force, continues to pursue that desire till its ultimate end, until she herself rises to the throne and becomes that empress, until she herself ascends unto the stars, right? It's that profound energy of going through the generation, of pursuing life to its fullest, and to focus upon that achievement, right? Powerful, powerful energy. Let's continue. And you know, it's about also that strength of innovation and adaptation, of finding the way to overcome, you know, that force, that feminine force overcomes the beast through love and adoration, through transformation. She transforms the lion into the unicorn, still as dangerous, still as powerful, but now noble and majestic, who fights for and defends that empress, right? And that is the energy of that lust, that profound ability to shape and transform everything. Okay. We are now going to go to our next card. Let's see here. We have that beautiful energy of the priestess. Look at that. Amazing, right? The priestess is the first feminine form in the tarot. It is that essence of motherhood and creativity at its most profound. It is that transformation of flow. It's that procreation, diversity, the wearing of many faces and many masks, the taking on of infinite forms, the weaving subtly across generation, across lifetimes, working through that disciplined action again, right? And through that long-term flow, through that kin building, through that generation, through that creativity, that femininity, right? That unconsciousness. The priestess takes from the unconscious and gives birth to form. She gives imagination. She makes it embodied and into reality. It's that ultimate creative force. We want to embody that creativity. And with that power of lust and desire, we can create, we can manifest, we can give birth to that next generation. Beautiful. Where's this going? Love to see it. Ace of Wands, the root of fire. Going to that beginning, going to our deepest passions and embodying it fully. What do we wish to achieve? Where do we see ourselves? What are we creating? Connecting to that love, to that essence, embodying it fully and imagining it unto its completion. The ace informs the 10. It imagines the 10. It sees the 10 completed. How do we get there? What are we doing? What do we wish to achieve? What is that desire? And we see this clearly. Our desire, what we are drawing down, is that great mother, that Astarte, that Babylon, that lust, that generation, that lust for life, that cup that transforms the world and gives us hope, that saves us, that forgives us of our sins, that forgives us for the ridiculousness and allows life to continue in spite of the hardship, to move through and to imagine a better world. Profound energy. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, let's continue. We're now going to go to the top, and we have the top of our square. I have the Three of Cups, abundance. Three of Cups, abundance. Again, the Three of Cups here, that abundance energy, it's connected to that beautiful energy of the lust, that Babylon, that desire. So when we pursue that desire, we are able to spread that emotional loving flow, that energy throughout our connections. We can inspire people who inspire people, and we can bring in that abundance, that flow, that generative flow that'll bring in more and more emotional loving support that creates community, that builds connection. Beautiful, interesting energy. That Virgo energy at the top of our square connected to that Three of Cups, the abundance. And that Virgo energy, that hermit energy, is all about that self-refinement and reflection, taking that light of the moon and shining it into the depths of the soul, having the strength to go into the self and to do the hard work of transformation. We saw this in the sortes. This is the cocoon. This is that energy of that divine virgin, the one who through her own actions ascends to the stars, who transforms herself and is reborn as that butterfly. And that's what we must do. We must shine that light to the depths of our soul, to see ourselves as we truly are, apply that strength of reason and overcome, transform the self, to continue to constantly strive and reimagine, recreate, and to pursue that desire. And this will bring in that power of abundance, that love, that connection. But in order to have it, we have to do that work, right? This is the thing. In order to love others, you must love thyself. You wish to have that abundance in your life, that love and connection, you must be able to forgive yourself. You must be able to face yourself, you know. If you cannot face yourself, then you run the risk that we see so often with the most religious people, the most spiritual people, is you run into purity spirals where you're holding everyone to the highest account and judging everyone, and it becomes cruel. And at the heart of that cruelty is a self-cruelty, an inability to achieve your own ideals. So do not fall for that kind of trap. Instead, love and accept yourself and love and accept those around you. We are all animals. We are all capable of violence. But it is us who have that ability to forgive and to overcome, to work to something greater, to strive to make amends, right? And that's what this energy is about. It's about taking the pause and taking responsibility for oneself, one's own action. And when you can do that, that love thyself and be in responsibility, you can manifest that abundance. You can manifest that abundance. Beautiful. Right? We see it here on full display, guys. The Prince of Swords. Why do we need to go into that hermitage? Because we are manifesting the energy of the Prince of Swords. The Prince of Swords is not all bad, but it is young, it is reckless, and it is selfish. It is that high-minded idealism, right? It's that airiness of air. It's so stuck up into something beyond this world, and it judges everything around it. And nothing can ever meet its standards, because its standards are also ever changing, because everything is of that air. It's this perpetual conflict. There may be beautiful, high-minded idealism, but fundamentally it always results in cruelty. Always results in cruelty. That Prince of Swords fights, right? So we must learn to overcome this judgmental energy, even if it is rooted in this high-minded spiritual or mystical idealism, right? We must mature and take responsibility and become that one who can move in loving flow. And part of that energy is embracing that Virgo, separating ourselves, doing that hard inner reflexive work through that light of the moon, right? But here, The Prince of Swords, that energy needs to take responsibility. We need to take our head out of the air. We need to ground ourselves. We need to bring in more compassion. We have too much high and mighty self-righteousness. Let's continue. We have here the 5 of discs, worry, connected to that Lady Babylon energy at the bottom of our spread, as well as the 3 of the cups at the top of our spread. So that worry, that 5 of discs, right? This energy is all about trying to grow beyond our foundations, to try to build something tangible, to try and achieve that success upon the earth, to manifest that middle way, that profound growth and generation. And when this is about us getting close, right? But now we have to continue through. We have to do that hard work. We have to persist. And this is also when the forces of the world come against us, that which we did not account for, that which we did not see coming, and that leads to this intense worry, right? It leads to that profound worry. But we overcome that worry again when we pursue that energy of lust and desire, when we engage in that hard work, right? In spite of the forces around us, we push. That 5 is 1 away from the 6. And we get over the worry through action, disciplined action. Let's see where this is going. All right. Now that's beautiful and interesting. Connected to our 5 of discs at the bottom is the 6 of discs. We are manifesting the success. We're going to walk that middle way. We'll draw down that sun into the earth, and we will plant the seed that will bear fruit of our labors, that will bear fruit in generation to come. It'll take root, right? A solid foundation, profound growing energy. Love to see it. Love to see it. Right? And that success comes from walking that middle way, from connecting to that lunar aspect, that self of the unconscious, right? And really imagining how we get there and embracing that, it's when we can connect that unconscious idealism, that imagined form with our consciousness of the sun. You can see it clearly in the card here. You have the eclipse. You have the eclipse, the moon in front of the sun, right? And this is doing what? It's drawing down that star into the earth. It's planting the seed that is bearing fruit, right? Bearing fruit, the flesh fruit, that pomegranate. How beautiful, right? We get to that success when we can turn our dreams into actions. And we can draw them down into the earth. All right, let's continue. And again, how do we overcome the worry? It is through love, the pursuit of love, relying upon another, finding that partner, finding that energy that can flow with you in loving connection, that will produce creativity, that will produce generation, that will manifest this loving flow. Incredible energy. Love to see it, right? And it's that 2 that is going to take root and bring that success, that'll overcome that worry. Wow, love to see it. All right. Well, I'm now going to flip my camera here. But once again, please give me a like and a subscribe. And if you're at all interested in a private reading, please reach out. You can find me at snappydts@gmail.com. Sorry, guys, I'm trying out a new setup. I was having a bit of trouble already, but we'll see here. Let's see if I can make it higher. Sorry, guys. I had checked this. It was working earlier. What happened? Well, we'll do with this, and then I'll move it for the last bottom row. But we can see these two rows at least pretty well here. Well, actually, no, I need to be able to see the bottom row. What? Okay. Good enough for now. Sorry, guys. I'll fix this for next stream. And we'll have some more fun. All right. So let us start here with our ace. So when we look at our ace here, right, we're connected to the hermit, right? And as well as that success, right? That 6. So what I'm seeing here is that it is that desire, right? It is imagining that desire coming to its full completion that is going to put us upon this path of transformation, right? That energy of the hermit, that Virgo energy is about going through that inner journey, about entering the cave and through that process of self-refinement, ascending to the stars, right? That Virgo Estrella, she ascends to the stars and she will return in the dawning of a new age after the Iron Age is over, right? But she ascends through her own might. So what we're seeing here is that by pursuing this desire, we will not only manifest the success, but we will go through this path. But it all begins with this connection here, but seeing where this desire is meant to take us by connecting to that purpose, to that profound force of life that forces us into creation. Wow, love to see it. All right, let's look at that lust card now. Okay, right? When we can embody that lust card, that energy of Babylon, when we can be in that force of strength, in that pursuit of desire again to its absolute intensity with the full force of our being, we can overcome everything and we can manifest that next generation, right? This is how we bring about that abundance, that loving flow. This is how we overcome the worry. We do so through having that strength, through chasing after that muse, embodying that desire, embracing that strength. All right. That priestess energy, right? That priestess energy is that first energy of the divine feminine. It's that beginning of that creativity. It is about that flow, connecting to the unconscious self and giving birth to your dreams, imagining something and putting it into creation through that long-term practice of doing the disciplined action and imagining it to its completion, right? The priestess does that full creative bit. She imagines it and nurtures it and gives it into life. And so what we're seeing here is that we want to connect to that loving creative energy, and we do so by embracing love. We connect to that priestess by finding another person who will help us bring out that flow, who will help us connect and to manifest. And this is also how we overcome this energy of the prince, how we get out of this selfishness. We get out of that selfishness and we draw ourselves down into the waters through that pursuit of love and through that pursuit of the unconscious, right? This energy is too conscious, it's too engaged, it's too flighty. We need to bring it back into flow. And we need to take some of that inspiring airiness and put it into that loving connection where it can be of use. So this is about learning to flow, about bringing some water into that air, about bringing some femininity into that prince and some loving connection that will ground that energy. Beautiful. Okay, so now we're going to look at our crosses. So we'll start here, right? So we have that success, that's 6. Again, it's all about that desire. That desire is what is going to manifest that success in the earth, and it's going to also allow us to confront and take responsibility, you know, to become a more responsible character, to evolve into that energy of the night, and the knight who can actually defend and protect and who can pursue wisdom in its fullest, right? Who's not in that constant battling that you see with the prince. So we do that when we pursue what we truly desire, when we engage things from a fiery perspective, when we learn to let go of some of that that overthinking and that logic in pursuit of a more passionate intensity. We have to bring in that more feminine energy, right? And now we're going to look here. Yeah, this is interesting. In order to love, we have to learn to love the self, right? And it is all about that desire. It is the desire that will give us that strength to be able to do that reflexive work. But if we can't do that reflexive work, then we can't be in flow of love, right? So we're seeing these almost opposing energies, but they're both energies are needed. And it's about learning to balance this in cycle and to have the strength of desire to get you through, right? If you can pursue that love, then that love will allow you to be that hermit, to do that work of transformation, and if you can pursue that strength with that lust, you can connect to that flow. Even though if you're that hermit, you can reground yourself and move into connection. You can learn to flow with others, right? And to work from a greater perspective still. But it all comes down to this energy of the strength, the lust, that Lady Babylon, that savior, that forgiveness energy, that power that pursues that generation. And it's this that'll bring that abundance, that'll overcome the worry, that'll manifest our love, that'll transform us into the priestess and allow us to actualize our desires and bring that success into the earth where it can take root and give birth to that seed, to that loving fruit, where we can grow beyond the limitations of that prince energy, challenge that greater intellect into something more flowing and loving still. Powerful, beautiful energy. And it's all about us having the strength to pursue that lust, right? All right, everyone. Let me see here. So that is the reading. I hope it resonated with you. It certainly resonated with me. We're going to do one final sortes, and then we are going to call it an evening. Okay. We're going to go here to Goethe, Faust. All right, Muses, what is the message from Faust? Inspire us this evening. Old bag of bones, can you not recognize your Lord and Master here before your eyes? You scarecrow, which shall hold my sentence back, that blots you out, you and your monkey pack. You see the scarlet jerkin and not tremble, to blind the cockerel's feather to perceive. When have you known my countenance dissemble, or must I wear my title on my sleeve? Wow, this is necromancy, the drawing of a spirit of the dead. Old bag of bones, can you not recognize your Lord and Master here before your eyes? Can you not recognize the spirits that is before you? Do you not see the image? Or must I wear my title on the sleeve? The spirits and a lot of the mystical appear in those sacred images, and you have to learn to be able to see them and decode them, right? So much power is in the costuming. We see this with Dionysus and frogs, right? When he dresses up like Hercules and is mistaken for Hercules, something that should never happen. But it happens because of, in the underworld, the costume is so much greater. All right. Interesting. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. And I hope I see you again tomorrow for more live tarot in sortes. Until then, much love. Take care.